How's it going, everybody? Welcome back yet again into our beautiful, beautiful single-player world in the city or town or village, that's the right one, of Spiritwood. So, great to have you guys back here. There's a lot more wood to be looking at because now I've built this tree, I've built, I think that tree and maybe one more. I've just been going crazy with some tree building. Not too much, just a little bit, add a little bit here and there, and eventually we should get this place looking very, very lively. Realistically, that's what I want. I just want it to be lively. That one. I think that one's new. You know what? I've got a little bit of stuff to do with them, but yeah, we won't worry about it too much. I just need to kind of fit in the edges here and there. Fill them in. That's the word. Man, starting off great. But that's all right. That's unimportant. Leave those trees alone. We've got other trees to deal with. And that is the trees that we'll be getting to a bit later. But right now, I'll explain to you what we're doing today. This area, boring area, we need to fix it up a bit. And we're going to be building a nice little field. And it sounds kind of boring. What's a field? What can you do with the field, Jansey? Listen, I'm gonna make one of the best looking fields I could possibly make. I hope. I think I'm setting myself a bit of a standard there. But let's go for a cool field. The last time I said that, I ended up, I think, going through 3 or 4 different diamond hoes just to get that at least. It was a long process, but you know what? I think we can do it. I've got some cool plans, and we'll be looking at it. In fact, it's one of those things where I think a lot of people could probably gain something. Where you say, "I've got a pretty boring area. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'm going to give you something cool to do with a wide open, boring area that could be an easy fix." Before we do that, though, I've got a beautiful little thing to grab there. Silk Touch. Okay, I'm breaking 3 Silk Touch. Not a bad thing to have on an axe. And I've just been going through, grinding some stuff out, and I found that one there, just sitting there so beautifully. Look at that. I'm breaking 3 Silk Touch. That one there, combined with that one there. Yeah, looking good. Maybe just efficiency. That's all we really need there. And yeah, I guess I could probably run that one down before I switch it up. But we'll keep that safe in that chest over there. So what our plans are for today is specifically just to get this area looking a lot more lively here, because going out this way, and in fact, we'll take a boat out to the ocean, because I think it's one of the best places to look at this beautiful village over here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But what I want to do is, because I've been working on the inside of the village, the heart of the village, I think that's starting to really turn out, which is actually what we're going to see from out this distance right here. But what I want to do is I want to start getting the areas around the village looking really, really good. And just after last episode, doing the trees and adding in the little, just the little differences, the little details, well, that kind of just messed a little bit over there, messed up a little bit. But just doing these little details have improved it so much. I think when we start doing out here, out there, and start really getting this area to work together, I don't think that we're going to look back. I think it's going to look absolutely awesome. But I was out in the pirate area, and I started, boating back this way, and it kind of confused me a little bit. And look at this. As soon as the trees stop popping in, the village starts popping in. Look at that. It's just created such a cool look to this village. I was worried last episode about the city's skyline, or the village's skyline, but you know what? There's absolutely no need to worry about that. In fact, it's almost been improved with these trees. It's definitely looking a lot more like a village should look. I don't know what a village should look like, but it's certainly looking more and more like that every day, and I'm very excited about that. Now, it looks like the sun's probably getting close to going down, but I'll explain to you what we have got going on. And actually, by the way, great to see everyone was super, super excited about us being back. In the last episode's comments, I saw a whole bunch of stuff specifically unrelated to us being back in the comment section about just having some really cool ideas about the spirit of Spiritwood. And I think it's something I've kind of glossed over in my thought. Actually, I'm not going to have time to just start that, but before the sun goes down, but I've kind of glossed over a little bit in my thought, but haven't really thought much about it. And there was so many different suggestions about, for instance, where's the spirit type of wood come from? Is there a cemetery, which was something I don't think I'd ever really consider on that, a cemetery out there, or what? And my thought, at least, on it, and this is just, of course, what I'm thinking, and it's always subject to change, because there's always something else that'll probably pop up that's probably a better idea than my ideas. But I was thinking maybe something along the lines of the spirit being within the trees, and I think we can do a lot with that. For instance, when we create a forest, which actually I think today is going to be a good day to spot out the forest that we could potentially do, to try and create a forest around here and try and make it spirity, like the spirity spirit of Spiritwood. That's what we're going for. The spirity spirit. That's it. But we'll see how we go with that. What I want to do right now, by the way, and this is what I'm up to before we continue on with this spirity spirit, is we try to build some trees here on the edge, and I've kind of laid out, I think 4. That's about it. 4 trees to try and mark out the area of what we're going to be building. So I want to make a big open plains, and plains can be very boring. In fact, incredibly boring. I mean, this is what it was. You can see my little trying to build trees over there. Didn't really work, but didn't really look too good. But what I want to do is I want to try and create a fake border, because putting a wall around this area is going to look really, really ugly. But if we could create a fake border to these plains of trees, it'll start to make our eye look as if we're looking at a proper wall over there, which is exactly what we want. We want like an end to it, and then after that doesn't matter. And that's what we're going for. So if we could build some big trees, some how you would call feature trees, I guess, realistically, just to distract people, distract us, really, being the people, from looking at them. I think that's what we're trying to go for, if that makes sense. It seems kind of interesting and almost counterintuitive in many ways, but the idea of this building is to try and detract from the building. And that's, in fact, a lot of the ideas of building, is just to detract from the building itself. So we're going to go ahead, build some more of these trees. I also want to do something which actually may be the mistake you're making and you didn't even realize you were making it, which is getting the ground looking good. Because I think the ground needs a little bit of what would you call it? An improvement to the ground. And what the problem with the ground is plains need to be flat. That's kind of one of the points of plains. Maybe it's not, but in my mind, that's important to plains. They have to be flat, and they have to also just kind of be monotonous. Just nothing really too much going on. Some flowers, some grass, just no trees. And what a lot of people tend to do is when they see a plains biome, and I'm actually very guilty of this, let me tell you this much. When I first started a survival series on YouTube, on vanilla survival at least, I decided I'd build in the plains biome because it was nice and flat. And let me tell you this much. A nice flat biome is not necessarily a very nice biome. So I try my hardest to level out places, maybe not as much as I used to at least, but just level out places. And I think some of the best things you could do is to just make the ground work for you. And I think that's what we're going to have to do as well today to get a fairly boring area looking quite interesting. But for now, what I will do is I will go ahead, put a tree here, tree there, tree there, tree there, and that's about it. As many trees as we're going to do for today. I'll go ahead and do that because those aren't the important things. The important thing is what lies between all these trees. And there you have it. 4 trees and a slightly better looking ground. There's a lot more I can still do, of course, but I think this is a good place to stop right here. I've gone ahead, made these smooth. You can see this ring around here goes around that way, and it just smoothing out the edges of the ground. I think that helps so much to make this area look a lot better. And I thought I'd jump up over here so I can show you exactly what's going on, because you can't really tell from the bottom, but it does have a very good difference that it makes down the bottom. Actually, you know what? Is this efficiency 4? It is. No more of those terrible ghost blocks. That is beautiful, what we just saw there. So you can see here, we've done a bit of terraforming, just a little bit of landscaping here to make the ground look a little bit more smooth. Like that, taking away a chunk there. And this is a good start. So what we want to do now is go ahead, let's get some decorating blocks to do some crazy things. First of all, do I have any oak saplings? A grand total of 5. Of course I do. That was because I went ahead and got all those leaves just last episode. So that's fine, that's not a big deal. I want to come around here, grab some of these guys, and we're gonna make ourselves a bunch of oh wait, yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Don't know why I thought it would do anything else. We're gonna make ourselves a bunch of fence posts so that we can go ahead and decorate this as a farm. Okay, 45. In fact, I was kind of hoping to do dark oak, and I mistakenly did it the other way. So we'll just go ahead and do this and make some dark oak ones. Wonderful. But yeah, this is pretty much what I like to think of. When I think of an area that's really, really boring and flat, you gotta try and make it a bit more interesting. And I think closing it off is obviously a great idea. So what we can do is further back this way, we can go ahead and start like making a fake forest. And in fact, we're gonna do that soon. But what I like to do is just around here, let's just make a little bit more of an artificial edge to it, where we've had now the proper natural edge, which is the trees itself, which work pretty well. I must say they do a great job of just covering this off. But making a fake farmyard fence or farm fence over here, I think makes a bigger difference overall. Just to make it obvious, like, hey, stop right there. That's as far as we go, and we can just do a little bit more around here. And I'm guessing it's going to end up marking with the city. Hey, does this still? I'm amazed this is a thing. You just keep clicking when you hold on there. So let's just step back and yeah. So I definitely need a lot more to go around there. Now, the other things that I need to do, and I was kind of silly not to think about more oak trees, but what I want to do is I want to go ahead and just oak tree all around this place. Just go crazy with them. You can't have enough oak trees, let me tell you that much, after what we're going to get up to. And I probably should actually get rid of a few trees back there just to get some more saplings, because they're not going to find themselves. So I guess I'm probably going to be able to use out my new super cool axe by the end of this episode. And I guess fix up a lot of these beautiful Minecraft-generated terrain things that we get. Man. I sometimes wonder how we get so much right in this game, and then we have these sorts of things in here. I guess it's the way the ponds work, but very, very odd. See that? Look at that. Totally works, right? In fact, I think we can save this. Yes, saved it. Floating piece of grass. Oh, here's some more magical things. In fact, I think if I place something, yeah, there we go. Gets rid of them. Those ones were beyond saving, and that one as well. But it's just kind of funny sometimes to look at this sort of stuff. I wish there was a way for me to recreate that, but either way, here we go. Looking a lot better now. We've got a proper perimeter now. And what I decided to do, which is a great little bit of a trick, I guess, is just making these little walking paths. In 1 second, I'll show you right over there. Going around here. This is just a basic little piece. So basically what I'm thinking is, because I want this area to hold a lot of cows, because that is where I want to get my food, so it's kind of got a practical purpose. And by the way, this is going to continue on back that way with some normal Minecraft trees, just to create a fake forest going out that way, which I think will work quite well, and eventually just meet up with those. I just ran out of saplings, to be completely fair. That's exactly the problem we've got here. So over time, I'll get some more and finish that area off there. But what I'm looking for over here is this to look like an area where cows are grazing, they fed, we look after them, we get food, and we're going to start eating some real good steak coming up really, really soon. I just have to kind of procure some cows from somewhere. I've seen them around. Here's the problem. I see them everywhere, and then I forget where I saw them. And then when I need them, I can't find them. But, I mean, hey, it can't be that bad to get a cow. I mean, how bad can it really be? I say these things, and I know what's going to inevitably happen. I'm going to be searching for cows left, right, and center. But that's all right. If not, we might have to make a sheep farm temporarily. But what I want to do with these paths is, of course, make them look a bit more smooth, a bit more run out into these pieces, just smoothed out with the land. And another thing I'm kind of in two minds about are these little tufty grass bits. The grass, these grasses. Not these grasses, these grasses. The little towel entities. I'm not so sure whether I want quite as many as what we've got around here. You can see there's a few areas where obviously I've pulled the ground out, and I think just having a few pieces like this, let me break up some of that. You guys go away like that. Just a tuft here and there, I think adds a lot more than just overrunning it with the same repetitive patterns all over the place. I think that's what I really like is just pieces here and there. And of course, this path, where does this path lead? It leads to a very cool place eventually. I think we'll wait to find out about that. That's the distant future, very, very far ahead. And I want to go explore that at some stage, but not right now. Right now, we are busy building a farm. So let's check. Cows eat hay, and there is hay for some cows to eat. I think maybe we could do 2 big stacks of it. Maybe a bit more hay over here. And then I want to also go check out from a distance what this place is looking like, because that's where it's actually quite important. So coming in there. Yeah, look at that. The trees are actually what's doing the big thing here, but just going in here, looking really good next to this. And it's kind of weird how taking something on this side of the village, far away from the village, is just going to start adding into it. It's a very, very cool thing. Just putting piece by piece, eventually it'll start coming together, which is what we are seeing right now. I probably should actually take some water and just go ahead with a water bucket and try and fix this area up. So that's something we can do. It's not too big of a deal, but just a bit of water to break up all the grass would be a great little trick to do. Now, as we're going through this part, I think the part that we are missing, and this is something I mention all the time, and I think I've definitely figured out that this is a big problem with me building, is, Jansey, where is the color? And of course, you caught me. There is no color. It's all just green and brown and whatever other colors we have, a little bit of yellow or whatever, yeah, browny, yellow, beige color. It's not really too colorful, and this is where some good old Minecraft flowers come into it. And in fact, something I've been thinking about with these flowers, because these flowers that I'm using right here, this one, is actually from the updated Minecraft textures. The ones people called Minecraft 1.13 textures, but they're not Minecraft 1.13 textures. They're just the temporary textures, the new default textures, the temporary released ones until the full released Minecraft textures come out, the brand new default textures. And I was kind of a little bit against them, a lot of them. I thought, man, they kind of don't look too Minecraft-like for me. And honestly, I still think a lot of them don't. But I know a lot of people have started playing with them recently, and I've been watching a lot of videos of people playing with the textures, and I think maybe it's just me seeing them all the time, or what. I'm sure many people out there, you guys will be able to tell me whether or not you're starting to get used to them, but I'm kind of liking a lot more of them than what I did originally, and it's sometimes good to be able to kind of backtrack and say you were wrong about a few textures. And I think I might have been wrong about a few of those textures, because there are some pretty cool ones out there. And in fact, I mean, I did enjoy a few. The leaves are in this pack. A lot of these leaves, I've done a few of my own leaves, but for instance, these oak leaves are part of the default textures that are being redone, which I thought looked really cool. One of them, okay, here is the one that I specifically don't like, though. Andesite. Because I think I use andesite in a way that I really love it, but of course, maybe not everyone specifically uses andesite in that specific way. So that's one of the blocks that I'm like, I don't really like the new one. But hey, you know what? Who knows? They could all change completely within a day, and then we've got brand new textures. So let's just quickly take a little night's rest here. Good, beautiful, sun's up, and well, I guess it's ready for another day of work. Fantastic. But yeah, now this is what I was thinking with them, is I'm wondering whether it'll be a good idea for me to maybe try it out, try these textures on, like what a lot of people are doing, and see what I feel about them in the pack, what I feel about them around the world, because, yeah, you know what, I think it's good. Give yourself a little bit of a change, and also, I mean, hey, I can overrun some of the textures I've changed, which are very, very rare that I change textures, but a few of them I have. For instance, my acacia leaves. I've made my own acacia leaves, and I really like my acacia leaves. What others have I done? The water, I think I've changed. I think that's about it, really. The hay bales, that's it. But I'll probably let those ones go, because they could be actually pretty cool. So let's check that out. A few flowers around the place. Looking very colorful. And maybe we just sprinkle some of these and these oxeye daisies around the place. Just a little bit there. We'll just go around. Just tap them around the place. Sometimes, in fact, here is something I remember learning from one of my teachers in school. Was weirdly enough, speaking about doing an easy way of making like a fooling a random pattern is creating a lot more duplicates. So, for instance, if you're trying to be random with these flowers, you'd probably go one, then one, then one. Or like, not like that, but maybe like one of each. But what he was telling me was, a lot of the time, you can tell the difference because there are no duplicates. So sometimes it would go like a 1, 1, and then one like that. So there'll be a lot more duplicates in an actual random thing. So that's something I like to do in this world. And I find it when I'm placing things down randomly, It works a lot better when I do stuff like that. So just to keep that in mind, it's a little thing. But in fact, everything's a bunch of little things just adding up. I think that's what we've got right here. Yeah, this is really looking good. The only thing it's missing are a few cows and actually my horse, which is nowhere to be found right now. But I think that's the next stage. Let's go and round up maybe just 2. We just need 2 and we can call this a farm. There you have it. 2 freshly procured clowns. I was going to say clowns, cows. They don't look much like a clown, but now I do. So great for me. But what I want to do, that's kind of weird. You can't. Here is something weird. Here's one of these little Minecraft things that are going to bug you now forever. Now that you know about it, because guess what? I've just figured it out, and I know this is going to bug me. You can't shift left click this into here. That is crazy when I'm on a horse, but I can do it over there. Very, very weird. Hey, thanks for coming, and you too. Oh, I realize I've got my particles turned off, don't I? Ooh, let's go do that. Particles all. They don't do anything, but you can prove to me that particles work. Thank you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Good work, buddy. And here is the start of the Spiritwood Farms. A great enterprise. I'm sure it's going to do fantastic. And I think it is starting to look pretty cool. And maybe not as ordered as I was hoping for, but I think when we start getting the forest going out here and we take a look at it from a distance, because that's the really important part, is looking out from a distance at this place. I think this is going to work quite well. The only thing left to do in terms of getting what I said I want to get done is probably getting rid of a lot of this grass here, like those big tufts, and leaving little bits and pieces all around the place. But for today, I think that is a successful build of a large area. Look at that. Massive area covered in a very, very easy way. So that will be us for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Tell me what you think about this. Did it work? I think it did, honestly, for a large area. I mean, minus making a project that takes 30 episodes, I think this was a great 1-episode project. So thank you very, very much for joining me here today, guys, and I will see you very, very soon.